Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the podcast. I just want to thank both of you for coming. Today, I have with us Tanistha Mehta and Ananya Jain. Tanistha, the founder of the organization Orooj India, and we have Ananya. She is the editor in chief. Well, I welcome you both. Uh,
Thank you so much.
so, my first question to you is what was the idea behind Orooj and how did it all start?
So actually, it was a campaign before we found the foundation. We started as hashtag Break the Taboo in our school, which is Alcon International. So we started with the idea. I just came across Nine India, which was then a new organization working towards menstruation and menstrual awareness and making sanitary pads. So I was really impressed by the work they were doing. So I thought maybe we should start this campaign in our school also because, we have all this hush hush around periods and when it comes to menstruation and the pads are being, wrapped in newspapers and then polythene. So I was like, this is a very normal phenomena. Why is it such a whisper topic? That's why we came with this idea of starting a campaign called as hashtag Break the Taboo in our school, and we organized a seminar with all the students. However, we preferred a mixed audience, but our school suggested that it should be, girls first, and then maybe we can have the mixed audience afterwards. So after we started with that campaign, we had a team of like 12 to 13 people with boys and girls both, so that awareness is spread equally among all people, not
Right.
basically for preferred for only one gender, right? So we started with that. Then we thought, like after we passed our 12th, we thought this shouldn't be limited to our school, or this shouldn't just be a campaign.
Right.
We should spread it among people, among other schools, among people, rural areas or public places, maybe spread awareness among all the people. So that's not whisper topic. That's how we came with this foundation, Uruj, and me and Ananya both decided with this name, Uruj, and the meaning Ananya will tell since she decided with the name.
Sure.
So, um, uh, lockdown was the perfect time to establish a social media presence.
Right.
So, we have started with our social media account, and this did not have a name. Organization did not have a name. Me and Tanistha, we brainstorm a lot. We brainstormed for like months for the name of this organization, and we stuck to Uruj. Uruj means bringing something into light.
Hmm.
So, through this name, we want to bring this topic into light that menstruation, yes, this exists, this is important, and this is something that should be talked about. So, that was the
Right. No, I got your point. Apart from that, moving on, I just wanted to further ask that in 2014, there was a report by NGO Dasra which stated that I don't remember exact figure, but nearly 23 million women need to drop out of the school due to lack of menstrual hygiene facilities and mismanagement that's happening. So menstruation still continues to be you can say a subject of gender disparity, especially in India. So what's your take on this?
I personally feel like because we have a patriarchal society, to any issues that women face are subjected to gender disparity, we cannot ignore that. And I feel it, even though this might be controversial, but I feel like if men menstruated, it would be a bigger deal. Government would be rushing, and the things would be really different. And
Right.
yeah, schools do lack facilities when it comes to menstrual hygiene products. Even most established schools, either they do not have the facility at all, they do not have sanitary napkins, and even if they do, they are not up to the mark. They are very low quality products, which might not even be safe to use for a long time. So, more gender disparity, I also feel like because menstruation is such a hush hush topic and nobody talks about it,
Hmm.
and there are various myths and taboos attached to it, gender disparity is a very far thought of topic, and we should, once we tackle that menstruation is more talked about, then we could focus more on the gender disparity part.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I,
Yeah, even I agree to that. Even I think that, the basic foundation is education. When you do not know about menstruation, completely becomes a hush hush topic, or a topic which is not discussed among the parents or the children. So lack of education. Secondly, sex education is not there. So that is why, and that is the main problem why there is gender disparity. Because like I said, that we prefer merged audience, but it's always the
Hmm.
girls who come in to
Right.
talk about periods, to talk about menstruation. The boys do not know about it. Now, if the majority of the people had menstruation,
Hmm.
maybe it was an essential topic to discuss about among us. But since men are not having periods, it's the LGBTQ community, the women, or the non-binary people who are having menstruation. It is not an essential topic to discuss among people. Whereas it is the basic foundation which leads to a normal life. So I think the more we discuss about it, the more awareness spreads. Maybe we can break this gender disparity between people.
Yeah, surely. My next question would be, I would say relating to this only that there in India there are still many taboos and myths prevalent. India being a very, as in, we worship a lot of god and goddesses in India. And my next question to you is regarding, in context to culture, right? So there are many socio-cultural taboos, myths which are in the mind of young Indians who don't even know about it. And so, how do you tackle all these socio-cultural taboos? And do you think that it is just because that lack of awareness or lack of willingness of people to get aware?
uh, you talk about cultures, right? So India is a rich country with rich diversity, and there are people are involved in. So I would like to give example of a temple, Kamakhya Devi Temple, which is in Assam,
Hmm.
and it actually celebrates womanhood and menstruation, things like menstruation. So every year there's a festival. I do not remember the name. It was Ambavasi Puja.
Hmm.
So for days, it is believed that Kamakya Devi menstruates, and it is considered one of the most auspicious days. So if you see in cultures like such, menstruation is celebrated and it is actually recognized. Whereas if you see other parts of India, most parts of India actually, women, menstruating people, they are not allowed to enter temples. So that actually depends from culture to culture. And yeah, there are a lot of myths and taboos attached to it. I would like Tanistha to elaborate on it.
Yeah, so I just came across many temples. We have a team. So those teams sent me those pics, lying across all the temples. That if you're menstruating, or even in some auspicious books, it's written that if you're
Hmm.
menstruating, you should not enter the temple. Now, why is that menstruation with, it's just simple blood, like the blood flowing in our veins? Just it has a little bit of dirt, which is necessary to be washed away from your body so that your body is clean. Now, why is that blood considered to be impure when it is the origin of our existence? If we
Hmm.
don't menstruate, babies cannot be born. We
Right.
cannot reproduce. So, if it is the origin of the basic humanity, basic humankind of all our origin, then why such an origin is considered to be impure? And if goddess herself is menstruating, do you consider that goddess menstruating is impure? So if she is not considered impure, then why all of us are considered as impure when we are on our periods? It's just a natural phenomena which needs to be put in minds of people and not be brainwashed by generations or some elder people that how menstruation is impure, or
Hmm.
it is that or that and that's why it's impure. It's the taboo or the myth or the mindset passed on from generation to generation, which our organization wants to actually stop or break among people.
Right. I also want to further add to this that I feel that the practices which were which were prevalent in past, these have been existing in present also, which should have changed. For example, I guess today also, in many parts of India, menstruation is considered impure, and the woman is kept isolated. Women, but the people don't know the essence behind it, right? In the past, there were no facilities such as sanitary pads or nothing, and a woman was given rest. She used to rest. She used to take care
Yeah.
of herself, right? That's why. So this all thing has come. You can say, I
Across
would
in a
say
different way. Yeah.
misconceptions have over the time have come across, and the real essence is somewhat hidden, right? So that's there. My
Hmm.
other question would you be that in our education system, right? I
Dave,
still
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I think Ananya wants to speak something.
Sure, Ananya, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to add to that. So I was once having a conversation about this only, that why is this so yeah, there's this myth that you are not supposed to wash your hair while you're menstruating. So I was like,
Hmm.
mom, this is very senseless, I don't understand this. So she told me that this is something that has to do with past traditions. So earlier, when women used to menstruate, they were told to have a bath separately in separate rivers. Like, I'm talking about old ages,
Hmm.
most probably my great grandmother's age.
Right.
So at that time, they were told to have baths in different rivers that were away from the town. So either they were advised not to have baths, or to have baths that were far off, in the
Hmm.
rivers that were far off. So that's why women having long hair, they were to just not wash our hair because we have to go far away. So, these myths that sound so generalized, these are deep rooted into our traditions. And many people do also work on how these myths came about.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. That's yeah.
Even I heard about this, but I had kind of like a scientific reason behind it that if you wash your hair, when you wash your hair, your body temperature actually goes down.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
during
Hmm.
your periods, it's suggested that you need more heat in the abdomen area so that you do not bear so much of pain during your cramps. So that's why maybe do not wash your hair. But I think it's also, a myth
Hmm.
versus a scientific. There's a clash between the two. So yeah, it goes on again.
Yeah, it goes on, and I do feel that it is important for people to know about what our tradition actually taught. What was the real essence behind it? People are just carry forwarding the same thing and passing it on and on and on, which just creates a, I would say, a great misconception in the minds of young people. Apart from that, I just want to talk about our education system also. I still remember when I was in my class ninth or maybe 10th, there was this chapter about in my biology class. This chapter regarding menstruation was skipped. I still remember. So I just want to talk that. Do you think that our education system lacks, or is it that we as a society are lacking behind?
Yeah, so I think uh, our basic education system, yes, it does lack. And secondly, we also lack in the manner that as parents, like we are students right now, but we can actually relate that when our parents taught, like my parents were really open minded. So I was taught menstruation before it even began in my class. So, but there are other parents who do not, come forward and talk about periods or sex or anything like that because say it's again a hush hush topic among people. Reproduction as a whole is a hush hush topic among all of us, especially in India, it's a hush hush topic. So that's why if we, as parents, if they come forward, they teach their children about how specifically important it is to read about menstruation, to understand sex and everything, then maybe we can, change the basic education system itself. Because if the government actually watches that people want their children to be taught about sex, to be taught about menstruation, to be taught about the origin of the humankind, maybe they would change the curriculum itself. So yes, our education system lacks because we do not have sex education in our school, but it also lacks when it comes to us ourselves.
Right. Because we are the only one who will bring the change in the education system. I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, other than that, I would just like to say that, it has been not talked about that there was a sanitary pad crisis last year. When the lockdown was imposed, there was a report of BBC which stated that I don't, well, like, the figure was sufficient. It was around, I guess, maybe you can say that 36% of 355 million women in India, you know, only use napkins. The other 75% don't even have access to sanitary pad napkins, and they, just rely upon clothes and does other stuff which is not safe to use. So when lockdown was imposed, the sanitary pads were not included in essential items, and there was a shortage of it. So my question to you is that do you feel that uh, do you, like all this which is going on in our society, that the other gender, you can say the woman gender, is being neglected, right?
Yeah, so talking about the lockdown and sanitary napkins not being considered as I, me too. I did suffer a lot at that time. I was running through shops just to get a packet of sanitary napkins. And when it comes to menstrual hygiene products, it has a huge role to play in comfort, and every person prefers a certain type of sanitary napkin. And I remember I had to use sanitary napkins as they were gold. I mean, I had to put so much thought into, okay, I just have one packet, I'll have to use it for another month because they are out of supply. So it was a really bad time, and I cannot even imagine what people who do not have access to sanitary pads go through. As you mentioned, they use um, products like hay or bushes, dried leaves,
Right.
cotton cloths, and just terrible. So yeah, it is really a shame that menstruation is not prioritized. Um, Even as I said, because of patriarchal society, women are not prioritized. And not only women, every person who menstruates did suffer at that time. And yeah, it is high time. And I would also like to touch on the taxation of sanitary products, something that is used on a daily basis worldwide. Every woman is menstruating. So if you see statistically, every day a woman is menstruating. That is quite a high number to consider the fact that sanitary napkins should not be taxated, but that is a whole other topic. And yeah, that time was really not a good time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely
so
agree.
you see, like condoms are free, but sanitary napkins, which is so essential, are taxed. And even like Ananya, even I was searching for sanitary napkins. I had this whole bundle of sanitary napkins with me safe in my house because I didn't know when they will be available next. So you had to keep like whole 2 to 3 packets with you so that you can pass through this lockdown during your
Exactly.
periods. So that's where the gender disparity comes in. Like you asked us the question
Hmm.
previously, that's where the gender disparity comes in. Since majority of people are not having menstruation and only non-binary LGBTQ community or women are having menstruation, that's why it's not considered as an essential thing. But yeah, that's where all the things come into place.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I completely agree. And the thing that hits me, that the our government was lacking. There were organizations and people who came forward who started distributing sanitary napkins, but when the central government doesn't recognize the importance of sanitary napkins, menstruation, so it just the if the core members of our country, the government does not recognize, so who can you blame, right? You have The government is accountable for everything, and we elect a government. So that was a it was a blunder. Though apart from that, you can say after some time it was eventually included, but the decision which of not included was really shocking. And if I talk about sanitary pads only, sanitary pads are non-biodegradable. So there are other alternatives such as menstrual cup, cloth pads. But these were introduced way before in 1900s. But still they have not come mainstream. So why do you think that? Or I just want to put this question as in, why is the society still reluctant to accept or use this?
So, yeah, it is. Menstrual cups were invented around 1970s. They were invented way back, but recently they have come into recognition more because obviously there's more awareness about it. So that is one part. But as I mentioned, menstrual hygiene products are all about comfort, and you cannot expect a shift of comfort in a short period of time. The people are going to take time to adjust to the more environmental friendly options. um, Cloth pads something that are not very popular. Menstrual cups are still very popular, but cloth pads are not popular because sometimes they might be unhygienic if you do not wash them properly. And they are very time consuming. Basically, every time you use a cloth pad, you have to wash it, then dry it off, and you never know if bacteria is getting collected or not. So that proposes. Then with menstrual cups, you have to wash it every time you use it. You have to sterilize it. On top of that, menstrual cups can be expensive, even though they're a great investment. Plus, there's a certain taboo related to menstrual cups because you have to insert it. So people are skeptical about that as well. But I do feel like maybe 10 or 20 years down the line, sanitary napkins, the non-biodegradable ones, might be reduced by a great number.
I completely agree with your point. And I do feel that in coming future also, we as a society, we would also find, ways to recycle, or you can say sanitary napkins, because currently I don't find any way, to dispose them in an environment friendly way.
I
Right.
have
Yeah,
come
so
across.
Dave,
Sorry.
yeah, we have come across actually reusable pads.
Oh,
Yeah, we both came across reusable. So I was in this session with a sanitary gift napkin. They organized this webinar where all foundations got together and they discussed about things. So there is this foundation called as the Kabira Foundation, if I remember properly. So they are bringing this reusable pads. Now this is very new to us. We do not know how to use it, or if they'll be hygienic properly, they'll be properly sanitized or hygienic for us. They won't cause any bacterial infection, so that is still in test. And the people need to be aware, or get to know about all these things. Also, you suggested about menstrual cups and
hmm,
tampons. Now, yes, they have been introduced since the 1900s, but the thing is, when they came into India, this is a Western influence. It took time to come to India. Now, when they are in India, they are available in India. Menstrual cups or tampons, they're still not affordable, but the sanitary napkins are. Now, the other thing that Ananya also told about is it depends upon, how comfortable are you with the product. So
hmm,
if you're comfortable with a sanitary napkin, you will use a sanitary napkin. If you know how to use a menstrual cup or a tampon, only then you can use it. The
right.
problem lies that most of the people do not know how to use a menstrual cup or a tampon, or they are not comfortable in it, or they are not able to afford it. They do not get the idea of using a menstrual cup or a tampon. And the other thing is, the basic sanitary napkin is even not available to all the people around here, the rural people, or there is a larger public which needs to use the sanitary napkin on the first basis. How can we introduce them to menstrual cups and tampons when they are not affordable for them? So, firstly, we have to make them aware of the basic idea of menstrual and menstrual hygiene. Only then we can spread other products like this, which is reusable and sustainable.
Right, right. And apart from that, I don't think so that most people know that these products even exist. In their mind, they only feel that,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there is sanitary pad, that's it. They don't realize because I feel that India being a patriarchal society, and they don't realize because they don't need that, right? It is said necessity is
Hmm.
the mother of invention. They don't need anything. They don't have necessity of the sanitary pad, and that's what makes it very different. And I would just like to end with the question that how was your journey till now? What challenges did you face, and what's your vision, future vision regarding Guruj?
So, talking about challenges, there are a lot. So, it is really difficult to create content based on periods because, first of all, it's such a controversial topic. People don't like to talk about it, and as a result, engagement on we operate from Instagram.
Hmm.
So engagement sometimes is pretty low, and most of the times the engagement is from women or girls, and interact with our posts. Even when we post interactive stories and stories based on opinions, it's very rare that if like 10 girls are responding, only one guy will respond.
Hmm.
The statistic
Right.
is bad. Statistics are low. So, yeah, challenges are many, but I do feel like gradually we will reach uh, that point where we are able to sustain people's attention to this topic. And when it comes to vision, I think Tanistha would be able to tell that in a better way.
Yeah, I think about the engagement part after this podcast, I hope we get more engagement from men as well as women. Now, coming to future visions, we are just, we are uploading content weekly or sometimes, when we have exams,
Hmm.
mostly that time we upload content gradually. But we are thinking that when this lockdown is finally over, and
Hmm.
I hope it's over,
Yeah.
then we'll go on with the donation drives and spreading awareness through seminars or webinars conducted in school. So we had this webinar in our school as well as in Khaitan public school. So we are thinking of having face-to-face webinars since we had this webinar on Zoom itself or on
Hmm.
Google Meets. So we're thinking if we have a good audience, a physical audience where we could communicate, we could interact, that would be a great opportunity for us to spread awareness. Then again, we will be connecting with other foundations, having donation drives. Also, we have collaborated with Nine India, so we'll most probably will be connecting with them and spreading this sanitary napkin from Nine India itself, the sanitary napkin pads packet to
Yeah.
rural areas
No, no.
or the domestic
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. And I would just like to, end on the note of gratitude to both of you for coming on the podcast. And I really thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Thank you. Thank you.